Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Utica, undeniably the illest cat around, a.k.a. Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. Also known as, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my hair right now. I need to get a haircut sometime soon. I have some other monikers, but I'm going to save those for later.
I think you're the chosen one.
I'm here with my bro host extraordinaire.
Y'all know who it is. It's RayBuck. It's Michael Jordan. It is the Parlay God. It is Mr. I'm wearing my belt today, not wearing my crown.
Definitely.
But I'm still here, motherfuckers. Don't ease up.
Chill the fuck out,
bro. Boy did win the card. Just not against this man over here.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think anybody won the card against this man over here, according to the UFC Predictions Tracker. We're here to cover this weekend's fight night. I guess a special fight night card taking place in London. It's going to be headlined by a welterweight bout between Leon Edwards going up against Sean Brady. I believe that this is going to be a 13-fight card. We're going to start things off first in the lightweight division. We got Guram Kutateladze going up against Kauê Fernandes. We got Kutateladze coming in 2-2 in the UFC, 13-4 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Fernandes coming in 1-1 in the UFC, 9-2 in overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Kutateladze on this one by either decision or KO. They're going to be the older and taller of the two fighters, a striker primarily, with some grappling, mostly just to, stuff takedowns and just kind of keep it on the feet. I would say definitely a dog fighter. He's been pushed to his limit, but just by other dogs. He's been outdogged by other dogs, I guess, is the only way I can put it. Fernandes is going to be the younger of the two with a slight reach advantage. Definitely a dangerous striker. And as long as he can keep it standing, then this fight is live for him to win. But not necessarily like keep it standing like he would want to go like Kutateladze is going to take him to the ground, but just more so like I guess fighting his fight is how I should say. If he can kind of keep Kutateladze on him, dip in, dip out, land hard shots and kind of just like get on his bike, I think he'll be all right. But if he allows Kutateladze to push the pressure, then yeah, it's pretty much going to come down to who has the better cardio and who has the better who has more dog in him. But I'm gonna be going with Kutateladze.
I'm going with Kutateladze as well. I think he just does have more dog in him. He has a little more heart. I think he has more power than Fernandes has, and I think if he's able to put it more in a phone booth, then he can definitely win. Like you said, I think Fernandes, if you know what I mean, he's picking his shots, he's in and out. It could be a longer night for Guram than I would like to see. But if Guram's able to corner him and able to just pepper him with shots, you know what I mean, and just stay on him, then I believe that Kutateladze, whips some ass.
For sure. Moving on to a men's bantamweight fight, we have Loughran going up against Nathan Fletcher. We got Loughran coming in. They're 1-2 in the UFC, 9-2 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Fletcher coming in 1-0 in the UFC, 9-1 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I picked going to be with Fletcher in this one by either submission or decision. They're going to be the slightly younger and bigger of the two fighters. A grappler with some hands, but mostly just for the purpose of gaining entry for takedowns. They're moving down from featherweight where they probably, I think they fought maybe like 3 or so fights. But those fights were actually like Ultimate Fighter fights. So what I feel like is he just fought those fights at that weight class because it was a way in for him. It was a way into the organization. He was successful at that weight class and, was able to not only win, but then also, get a contract. So, he like, I guess had a UFC debut where it was him and, another competitor from the show fighting to see who won ultimately. But now he's moving down to the bantamweight division because from what I could see, that is actually where he primarily fights all of his fights. So he was, like I said, I think he was just doing that as a way into the org. But now that he's here and he kind of established himself somewhat, now he's like, yo, I want to move down to my natural weight class and, I guess fight more comfortably. I would assume maybe 145, even though he had success, he still felt like a better version of him is at 135. So he has more routes to victory, and well, not more routes to victory, but I feel like his grappling is going to be potent. Who knows? Maybe he is, effective with the hands, but I feel like he's going to be able to get Loughran to the ground. Loughran's going to be slightly older and smaller of the two, somewhat well-rounded, but leans towards the striking. I feel like for him in the UFC, he came in pretty hot, off of the regional scene that he was coming from, and was basically just making it off of brute strength and like talent. And since then, has like actually kind of been humbled, and is I'm assuming having to learn how to be more of a complete fighter rather than just thinking he's gonna coast off of talent. But unfortunately, I feel like this is going to be another humbling experience. This is going to be one of those things where it's a launch pad fight for Nathan Fletcher, and an opportunity to salvage their career for Loughran. And I'm gonna be going with Fletcher in this one.
I disagree with that. I'm definitely going with Loughran. Like you said, he is brute strength and talent, and I think sometimes brute strength and talent is what is necessary. And that being said, Nathan Fletcher's coming down in weight. I hate to see fighters come down in weight. I never, you know what I mean. It's hard for me to ever bet on them, because I think he was already losing the striking to Loughran, and now that he's down at the lower weight, he definitely loses in the striking. So I see no power coming out of Fletcher. Yes, he has some wrestling. He better, you know what I mean, make that effective because that's his only route to victory. He's no way in hell going to win on the feet. Has no hands. So Caolán for the win.
For sure. Just a note, folks, this is the man who picked AJ Cunningham last card, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Moving on, we have a women's strawweight bout. We got Shauna Bannon going up against Puja Tomar. We got Bannon coming in. Oh, man, I'm dying right now because these fights are not in the right order. 1-1 in the UFC, 6-1 overall, and 4-1 in the last 5 fights. Tamar is 1-0 in the UFC, 9-4 overall, and are currently on a 5-fight win streak. My pick's going to be with Bannon in this one by either decision or KO. They're going to be slightly taller with a significant reach advantage over Tamar. A point fighter, not really going to see any grappling from them. And when they get taken to the ground, they definitely don't have much to offer. So she just needs to stay at distance, pick Tamar apart, dip in, dip out, and just, have them kind of following them throughout the fight. They can, put pressure on them if they want, but I just feel like that it's from what I can see from Tomar, it'd just be easier to just stand from on the outside and just, piece them up from there. Tamar's gonna be slightly shorter and less rangy of the two. Their striking arsenal in their first fight, and it was their debut in the UFC, was very limited. Didn't really see much out of them. They didn't win that fight really as much as their opponent lost it due to them just having super poor IQ, not staying out of the way of the same sidekick that this person just kept throwing to their body. I mean, literally, they could have won the fight had they just, I guess, dodged about 10 unnecessary sidekicks that they decided to take for some reason, just marching forward and just no disregard or just mad disregard for defense and or whatever, It was ridiculous. But so I don't really think Tamar is all that great. It's nice to have a prospect from another country and stuff like that, one of the few from India. But I just don't feel like she's UFC caliber. So I'm going to be going with Bannon in this one.
I got to go with Bannon as well. Bannon, This is a trash can fight. Let's go ahead and just be honest about it. Bannon she has poor striking technique, but she has a lot of volume. And she'll stay on you, and she has tons of heart. I will give her that. And Puja just has a very limited range of striking. She's got some grappling, which Shauna Bannon really hasn't shown much of that. But I don't think this fight goes to the ground. I think this fight stays standing, and I think Shauna Bannon just keeps putting hands on her. As long as Shauna Bannon, because I haven't seen a ton of kicks from Shauna Bannon, she does have a few, but if she can avoid Tomar's one kick, then she should be fine. I think she has the ability to do that. So Shauna Bannon for the win. Again, this is it's kind of a trash can fight.
That shit is fucking trash, dog. Get the fuck off the airwaves.
I guess you're gonna mean Shauna Bannon for the win.
It's a fight.
It's a fight.
Sure.
It's a fight. We got a 13-fight card. We got a full card, unlike what were you saying? These bubble cards, these COVID cards that I was winning. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess we got a real card. So we'll see what a real winner looks like on this card.
Oh, we already did last week. What are we talking about? We already see you're looking at a real winner right now.
I'm a winner too.
The whole predictions, picks, and just like MMA betting community is looking at what a winner looks like. So you're welcome to be in my graces right now.
Let's just get it right.
Hopefully you're taking some notes.
Out of 100 UFC channels, right?
Hey,
you were number one. I'll give you that. Good job. You know what I mean?
Sure was.
Give you your flowers.
Sure was.
I was number
that Carlos Vera fight. Yo, let's just save it, bro. We're going through the card. I know this is tough. I know this is tough for you right now, but let's remain professional, okay?
This is bullshit.
Still got a show to do here.
Okay.
All right.
Do the show.
Moving on to a middleweight bout. We have Andrey Pulyaev going up against Christian Leroy Duncan. We got Pulyaev coming in, making their UFC debut, 9-2 overall, and are currently riding a 5-fight win streak. We got Duncan coming in, 3-2 in the UFC, 10-2 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Pulyaev in this one by either submission or KO. They're going to be the slightly younger of the two, taller and somewhat well-rounded, but they look to be leaning towards their striking from what I could see. I don't have a lot more info than that. But I would just suggest, being that they do have striking in their grappling in their arsenal, they should definitely mix that in to make Duncan a little gun shy and limit some of that offense that they're going to be bringing, because they are, a dangerous striker with a somewhat unorthodox approach, but they're having to, kind of learn the MMA way to approach things and try and merge their style with that. They're going to be the slightly older and shorter of the two, with a slight reach advantage, a striker primarily, but like I said, they got to evolve in that grappling game, and it feels like they have been, since their debut, but it's mostly, right now in the stages of just learning how to not get taken down. It's mostly just takedown defense. And they just, even though that's something that they're working on, for them, really, they need to try and keep this at distance, avoid any sort of type of grappling exchanges, whether it's up against the cage or, just out in the open mat. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I think Pulyaev is going to be able to, match them on the feet and then be able to take the fight to the ground and eventually gain the advantage there and take this one home.
This is going to be a striking affair. CLD will come out on top. This is a speed versus power affair, with Christian Leroy Duncan being the speedier one of the two. Pulyaev does have power. If CLD can avoid getting clipped, he wins this fight, because he's going to definitely put more volume on Pulyaev than vice versa. That being said, I don't see this going to the ground at all. I don't see the possible sub. This will be a KO or decision victory for CLD, or for Pulyaev as well. I mean, it's very possible that they could clip CLD, but I believe in CLD. Speed over power. I think they're both going to have tons of cardio. It's just going to be, again, the volume of strikes is going to decide this fight.
For sure. Moving on to a heavyweight bout, we got Marcin Tybura. Goddamn, my bad. We got Marcin Tybura going up against Mick Parkin. We got Tybura coming in. They are 13-8 in the UFC, 26-9 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Parkin coming in. They are 4-0 in the UFC, a perfect 10-0 overall.
Brilliant!
And are currently riding a 17-fight win streak just between their amateur and pro career. Tybura is going to be my pick, though, by either submission or decision. They're going to be older by 10 years, slightly smaller of the two, and well-rounded. I feel like at this stage in their career, given their age and just experience and kind of just who they're matched up against now primarily, they're leaning definitely more so into their grappling now. It's an effective way for them to slow down younger and just like more powerful opponents, especially those who were more skilled in the striking department. So, they just need to get inside, lean Parker up against the fence or, get them to the ground because Parker, or Parkin, my bad. Yo, you were just going to let me roll with that, weren't you?
Sure
yeah,
was.
fucking that's what sour grape-ass motherfuckers do. But it's all good. I ain't tripping. I would be that way too. If I got fucking smashed the way that you did.
Smash.
You act like I
fucking-
lost. Like I lost the card. I just lost to you.
I
Okay.
caught back up first off, so you're no longer the 2025 champ. And and I'm the best out of the entire field picking underdog after underdog. It was ridiculous. Anyway, though, Tybura, like I said, leans on Parkin, gets him up against the cage, gets him to the ground. I feel like Parkin hasn't faced too many skilled grapplers. The only thing he really has going in this fight is he'll definitely have the edge in the grappling and just youth. So if Tybura tires out or ultimately, just isn't strong enough to hold Parkin down, then he'll be live for a win. Once again, he's going to be the younger of the two fighters, slightly bigger, a technical striker, really, point striker. He's going to have the edge there. He just needs to avoid the grappling. That's really his only path to victory. I just don't know if he can. But yeah, I'll be going with Tybura in this one.
I will not be going with Tybura. I'll be going with Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin is 9-10 years younger than Tybura. Tybura does have a hell of a resume. Absolutely. I get it. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Father Time catches up with all of us. And in this sport, you know what I mean? The old don't survive.
You die.
That being said, I've got to go with Mick Parkin. Can Tybura flash KO him? Possibly. Yes, that is an availability to him. But he better do it in the early rounds because, you know what I mean? I just don't think he has that same gas tank that he did, you know what I mean, a few years ago to be in the late second and third rounds. So that being said, I'm gonna go with Mick Parkin.
Parkin?
Mick Parkin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there's something you got right.
Mick
Because it definitely
Parkin.
hasn't been your picks as of late. But, hey.
Bro,
There you
I
go.
got a bunch of them right.
There you
What
go.
are you talking about right now?
I got us featured, on the tracker. I got us that jump in subs, which, salute to all the new subscribers. We'll get to you all in a second.
That's
Anyway.
great. You know what? It's fun. It's funny, right? Okay, so you got us. You know what I mean? What can we count them? About 30 new subscribers, right? Within the last week.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, I got all the rest of them.
Damn, son.
you
The only
sure?
reason that people come into the channel is me.
You sure?
Okay, so we're at 160 or 130 of them are mine, bro.
Bitch.
That's what's going on. That's
Okay.
why people come in. You know what I mean? Show up to the fucking show. I'm the show.
You're the show?
It's me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Been awfully
Ray
silent for somebody
motherfucking
who's
Bucks.
the star of a show.
I'm the fucking star. I mean, I gotta keep talking about it. You know what I mean? I'm humble in my stardom.
Oh, yeah, you definitely been humbled. Definitely. It's going to continue, too.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Going to reclaim my title here next week.
You think so?
And then just, inch that much closer. And it looks like you're going to help me with all these weak-ass picks you're going against me on. You're going to help me inch that much closer to that all-time title. So, much love, bro. Appreciate you.
Stop it. Get some help.
Moving on to a flyweight bout. We got Loughran Kavanaugh going up against Felipe dos Santos. We got Kavanaugh coming in 1-0 in the UFC, 8-0 overall. We got dos Santos coming in 1-2 in the UFC, 8-2 with 1 no contest overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Kavanaugh on this one by either decision or KO. They're going to be the slightly older of the two fighters, smaller, well-rounded, and dangerous. But I feel like they're just really well-trained and are able to measure, their offense. They're gonna put the pace on dos Santos, and probably, just from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight, be able to maintain that pace. But they just got to avoid getting drawn into like any firefights with Santos. That's really what they got to do, is they just got to fight their fight and just impose themselves on dos Santos. Don't try and let them in on this one in any sort of way. Dos Santos is going to be slightly younger of the two, bigger, like I said, dangerous, but they're just reckless. So they find themselves in a lot of situations that they don't need to be if they just focused that violence a little bit better. They're just gonna have to stay measured to even have a chance in this fight, in my opinion. They could make it messy, and hopefully they're able to draw Kavanaugh into a phone booth or something like that, catch him even potentially like in a submission. But I just feel like Kavanaugh is just very well-rounded, very well-trained, and is going to get this one done.
I got to agree with that pick. Kavanaugh is, he's got a higher fight IQ than dos Santos. That's what it comes down to. I think they're very well matched as far as their striking ability, as far as their grappling ability. I think they're very even. I think it's just how they implement it. And that being said, dos Santos is like you said, reckless. He's all over the place. You know what I mean? He's going to take chances that are not good. You know what I mean? They're low probability chances. And you know what I mean? Me being a high probability person, like high probability wins. And my man's also undefeated. So I got to go to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh for the win.
Yeah. Don't got much to say when you actually make the right choice. Not much to say on that one. So
Fuck that.
I don't know why you need to add all that high probability on.
Fuck that.
I don't think anybody, especially our
still the all-time champ,
our newer
baby.
subscribers wouldn't know what your probability.
Time.
They'd be like, "Whoa, like
champ.
where'd that come from?" Because I didn't see that since I've gotten introduced to this show.
In over 600 fights, I still hold the belt and the crown. Did we forget that?
For now.
Are we forgetting about that?
For now.
Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, old ass 2024 wins are what's floating this man into this next year so far. That's the only thing that's
I'm only down by what, 1 or 2 now?
No, I think it's tied for 2025 right now. But what I'm saying, yeah. But what
you tried to say you have the champ?
I said by next card. Like by the time this card's over.
I'm still the champ.
No, you're not the champ.
Oh, I'm still the champ.
No, you're not.
How am I not?
Because we're
you gotta
tied.
Beat the champ to be the champ.
No,
bro, you hold the title until somebody takes it from you. What are we talking about right now?
No.
Are we tied?
I took it from you.
How?
Because I won.
You tied.
No, I won though. I won in head-to-head matchups. It's just that by me winning, now it's caught me up
to being tied.
To us being tied on the year.
Okay, so
But you're not the champ because you were the one holding it until I have to get one over you, and then that's when I take it. Nah, bro, we're not going. Anyway, man, see, you're wasting time. I see what you're doing here.
There we go, bro.
It's not gonna work.
So I am still the champ.
Anyway,
give me my belt. Hand me my crown.
Sure, bro. Whatever helps you go to sleep at night.
Oh, you know what it is. Come on, man. I thought you got one up on me. That's hilarious.
Moving on.
You got all this extra confidence and shit?
All right, folks, moving on to a lightweight bout. We have Jai Herbert going up against Chris Padilla. We got Herbert coming in 3-4 with one draw in the UFC, 13-5 with that one draw overall, and 2-2 with that one draw in their last 5 fights. We got Padilla coming in 2-0 in the UFC, 15-6 overall, and are currently riding a 5-fight win streak. My pick's gonna be with Herbert in this one by either decision or KO, like a late KO though. They're gonna be the older fighter by 7 years, taller and longer of the two. Point striker. He likes to get scrappy, but I feel like he's learned from a few bad instances doing that. He has to just fight his fight. He needs to use his length to his advantage and just be a more measured fighter. He can definitely, find the finish if it presents itself, but he can't be going in there trying to, fucking flex on people and kind of just like trying to be a tough guy. Like, go in there and fucking be a professional and fight your fight. We got Padilla coming in. They're going to be the younger and smaller of the two. Well-rounded and pretty much dangerous everywhere. If I was them or, a part of his team, I would suggest that they get this one to the ground, though, or up against the cage and to the ground from there. Because striking with Herbert, I just don't think is going to be good for him. Also, if he is going to strike, like, he's going to have to get inside, which means, like, he's going to, have to get in close. Like I said, maybe some dirty boxing, some strikes up against the cage. But I just don't think that's necessary. I think the path of least resistance is getting Herbert to the ground. I think that's going to be a challenge in itself. So I would just suggest that for him. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I actually feel like this is his proving, like this is like his prove it type of fight for the UFC. They want to see if he's ready to ascend to that next level. When I look at it, he hasn't faced as stiff a competition as Herbert. The people that Herbert's beat would give Padilla a run for his money, and the people that he's lost to would clear Padilla probably. So I feel like Herbert is definitely a seasoned vet of the UFC at this point. Definitely in a gatekeeper stage right now. This is an opportunity for him to, salvage his career and, keep a prospect at bay. And yeah, I just think that he's actually going to be a really true challenge for Chris Padilla, who hasn't faced a lot of tall fighters, and he's had some up and down success with taller, longer fighters. But I just feel like in this one, he's going up against somebody that's, UFC caliber and has those attributes as well. This isn't like some regional guy. I think Herbert's going to take this one home in front of the home crowd.
This is the featured prelim event. And Chris Padilla is going to beat the shit out of Herbert. That just is what it is. This is going to be a great fight. I'm not going to say it's an easy win for Chris Padilla, but Chris Padilla hasn't lost in the UFC yet, and I don't see him losing anytime soon. Jai Herbert is a great fighter, does have great striking. I just think Chris Padilla has far more routes to victory. I think he has better striking than Jai Herbert. And he's just going to make it dirty, and he's going to have a little bit more heart than what Jai Herbert is going to have. So Chris Padilla for the win. Chris Padilla by knockout, possibly decision, but I'm pretty sure I see a knockout happening here. Chris Padilla over Jai Herbert for the win.
All right, moving on to the main card. We're going to start things off there with a featherweight bout. We have Nathaniel Wood going up against Morgan Shariar. We got Wood coming in 8-3 in the UFC, 20-6 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. We got Shariar. They're going to be 2-1 in the UFC, 20-10 with 1 draw overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Wood by either decision or sub. They're going to be the older and shorter of the 2 fighters. well-rounded, and looks like they're actually, putting some focus to their grappling here as of late. So they're gonna have definitely more routes to victory, and I feel like should definitely mix in that grappling to help limit some of Shahryar's offense. Now they have shown to somewhat have some cardio issues, but hopefully with this grappling that they're doing, that's helping condition them to, be able to go the extra mile. So as long as they're able to manage their energy and avoid like long-standing exchanges, they should be good to go. Sharyar is going to be the younger and taller of the two. A technical striker with finishing capabilities. Not great at the grappling. He's not going to just, sit there and accept a takedown, but he's not great. He's definitely going to, look to keep this standing. Probably has the slight cardio advantage in this one, but not like by a large margin. But I would say that their best route to victory is just keeping this one at distance, kind of circling the cage, dipping in and out, and hopefully if a finish presents itself, cool. But I think that Nathaniel Wood's gonna just have too much for him, overwhelm him, wear on his energy, and either get him out of there late in the fight or get this one by decision.
That would be an incorrect pick. I'm going to go with Shahryar. Shahryar's going to put far more volume on Wood.
Whoa.
As literally as if he can just avoid the dumbass takedown, he'll be fine. That's all he's got to do. If he knows how to sprawl, which I've seen him sprawl, he'll be fine. And then he takes the win because he has far better hands. He's a better striker, and I don't even know what we're talking about. This is one of my my easier fights to pick out of this whole card, and he's gonna whip fucking Wood's ass. So there we go for that one. It's a pretty easy up and down one right there.
Sure.
Sure about to lose, my guy.
Sure.
Just so you're aware.
You would know about up and down for sure, bro. That's kind of how your year's been.
You'd know about
It's
Wood.
kind of about your.
That's what you would know about.
How your year's been going.
Yeah. I see why you pick Wood.
Oh.
Right off.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's it coming out of you, right? Like that's you saying it. So you're the one with the vision. That's obviously something on your mind.
I've got the vision. I got the vision of winning.
Nah, you're a weird ass.
I'm a winner.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on to a lightweight bout, we got Jordan Vucenic going up against Chris Duncan. We got Vucenic coming in. They are 0-1 in the UFC, 13-3 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. We got Duncan coming in. They're 3-1 in the UFC, 12-2 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Vucenic in this one by submission or decision. They're the younger of the two with a reach advantage in this fight. Somewhat well-rounded, but definitely leans towards their grappling. I don't got a lot of info on them. Their debut fight when they came in, they were coming in on short notice, so I feel like they're definitely going to be a lot better of a version of themselves in this fight with that full camp. I mean, even coming in on short notice, they did take Kutateladze, to a decision. So, they started to flame out towards the end of the fight, but they were actually, giving Kutateladze a run for their money. I would say that for them, they need to mix it up with the grappling. Definitely wear on Duncan's energy. They're gonna have the edge in that department as well. Duncan's gonna primarily want to stand. The good thing about Vucenic is he's actually faced some pretty stiff competition on the in smaller organizations leading up to their UFC stint against cats who are either in the UFC now or are in pretty reputable fighting organizations as champions. So we got Duncan coming in. They're going to be the slightly older of the two by 2 years, less rangy of a striker. They got some grappling, which they were able to showcase in their last fight. But they really just won that by a freak guillotine. Their opponent more so lost the fight than they won it. I feel like outside of a flash KO, I really don't know how they get this one done, but they're definitely going to have to avoid the grappling and outdog Vucenic if they are able to keep it standing and, you know, just stuff takedowns and all that. But I just don't see that happening, so I'm going to be going with Vucinic in this one.
I'll agree with the Vucinic pick. Vucinic does have just a few more routes to victory. He does have a decent resume. It's hard to go with Duncan because he's not as well rounded. He does have a few more fights in the UFC, but they're not big fights against anybody that anybody gives a shit about. Bunch of trash cans. He was able to win a few of them. Good for him. That being said, I've got to go with Vucinic, even though Vucinic is not necessarily tested. He did all right against Kutateladze. But we're also talking about the first fight of the card. He was able to, you know what I mean, lose barely to him, to the first fight. So I don't have a lot of faith in this particular pick, but Vucinic for the win because, like I said, I just think he has a few more routes to victory.
For sure, for sure. All right, folks. Moving on to a women's strawweight bout. We have Molly McCann going up against Alexia Thanara. We got McCann coming in. They are 7-6 in the UFC, 14-7 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. Thanara is going to be making their UFC debut, 11-1 overall, and are currently riding a 9-fight win streak. I'm going to be going with Thanara in this one by either sub or decision. Originally, this fight was booked as McCann versus another fighter, I think Estela Nunes from Brazil. This is another Brazilian fighter, but I think probably a lot more dangerous and just skilled than Nunes. They're going to be the younger of the two. They're going to have a pretty nice reach advantage. Looks like grappling's their specialty. Don't have much more info on them than that, but it seems like now this went from kind of like, now I don't know if Molly McCann plans on retiring, but I feel like it's headed in that direction. And what better way than to, you know, get you a nice little win, nice little send off in front of your, you know, home country. And I think that that's what this was set up as originally. Now I believe that this is a swan song. This is kind of them, you know, getting put out to pasture. I mean, now there is the opportunity for them to overcome and be able to go out more so in a legendary fashion. But I just Molly McCann isn't that great of a grappler. And I feel like, you know, as long as if this ends up going to the ground, then Thanara got it. If it ends up staying on the feet and going to the cards as more so of a striking bout, then yeah, that's how McCann gets this, or if she gets some type of flash KO. McCann's gonna be the older by 7 years, or the older of the two by 7 years, less rangy, scrappy striker. They're gonna win, but they can win, but if this prospect's grappling proves to be at a UFC caliber, then it's a wrap for McCann. Like literally, like I said, had this been their original opponent, I would have went with them all the way. But this is a bad fight for them stylistically. So I just feel like once that opponent fell out, it became business again for the UFC. Maybe they got something for her. Maybe if she does this one, maybe they can set her up down the line and she can take one more at that point. But right now, I just feel like they just got to do what they got to do, and McCann just, you know, kind of has to do what she has to do. And I'm going to be going with Thanara in this one.
I think it's all in the name. Molly Meatball McCann. It's like a can of SpaghettiOs. She's a can.
Tomato.
That being said, we got to go with Thanara. Thanara's 11-1. Thanara whips ass left and right. That's her thing. Molly McCann just doesn't. Molly McCann has been in the UFC for a long time. Give her flowers for having fought as many fights as she has, but how many fights, you know what I mean? She just doesn't win. And she doesn't win. When she does win, it's not spectacular. It's usually a decision win. And it's against other cans who are just bigger cans than she is. So, Molly, Chef Boyardee McCann, sorry, you're probably going to lose this one. If this is where you set the gloves down, well, it'll be a sad way for you to go out, but I guess she went out on her shield. That being said, we're going with Alexa Denara.
For sure. Next up, we have a welterweight bout between Kevin Holland going up against Gunnar Nelson. We got Holland coming in 13-10 with 1 no contest in the UFC. 26-13 with that 1 no contest overall, and 1-4 in their last 5 fights. We got Nelson coming in. They are 10-5 in the UFC, 19-5 with 1 draw overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Nelson in this one by either submission or decision. They're gonna be the older of the two by 4 years. They're gonna be the smaller fighter, a grappling with decent hands, but nothing too threatening there. They come off of a somewhat long layoff since their last fight. Doesn't look like, like before. So they came, this will be somewhat of a long layoff. And then they had, somewhat like a year in between the fight before that. And then they came off, then they were like off the map for like 3 years before that. But they tend to still have success, so it's almost one of those things where I don't think the layoff affects them too much. They need to just get this fight to the ground and avoid long-standing exchanges with Holland. Holland's going to be the younger and significantly bigger of the two fighters. Well-rounded, but leans towards his striking. Dangerous everywhere, but just doesn't seem to be mentally locked in right now. He can grapple even. I've seen him submit high-level grapplers. Tell me when the shot's coming, brother. But it just seems like right now, he's just having trouble with grapplers. He just lost like 3 months ago to a grappler and is now jumping right back in here with another grappler. And it's almost like, either he's here to redeem himself and show that he can, give these guys a run for their money and beat them, or he's just here to collect a check, get a free trip to London, do some things. Because I don't really know what his angle is, because this is stylistically a bad matchup for him, or at least that's what it's turned out to be here as of late. Tell me when the shot's coming, brother. Hopefully he can avoid the grappling exchanges, or maybe, just come in there freaking focused and be the Kevin Holland that a lot of people, love him for. But I just don't see it happening. I think Gunnar Nelson's going to get him to the ground and get a submission.
Kevin, here to collect the check. Holland,
Everybody wants a bill.
Isn't getting it done.
I just want to have a good time.
Gunnar is going to put him in a full Nelson. That being said, I never, and I mean almost never, pick a fighter who's had layoffs like Gunnar Nelson has. And he currently hasn't fought since 2023. But he likes to show up for these UK cards, and he likes to show up, you know what I mean, when he feels like he's ready to show up. And when he does show up, he shows up. Kevin Holland shows up to the weigh-in, shows up to the press conference, walks into the cage. As far as showing up to the cage, not really. He's just kind of there. I feel like he gets paid either way, and that's kind of the feeling I get from when I see him fight.
Yeah, I feel we've talked about this before. He's done the UFC favors to a fault. He's done them favors to where, it's not one of those things where you can lose. It's like a consequence-free loss. Like every loss you take still counts. I'd say maybe like, and it's funny, because Tony Ferguson pointed this out. He called it Dana White privilege, and the only person I've really seen get that is like Michael Chandler. But for the most part, Kevin Holland's played himself out of title contention in any weight class right now at this point.
For sure.
And is just basically either a launch pad for other folks or just a interesting fight kind of guy. But you can only string together so many more losses before it's just like, now you just look like a can, and, yeah, you did us some favors, but, we handled that and, got you back for those back then. What are we doing now?
Exactly.
So I just feel like, he's either here to prove a point or, like I said, to collect a check. I don't really know Which one?
Kevin Kutateladze is going to lose this one. Gunnar Nelson will probably take this one home, even though he hasn't fought in 2 years. Crazy to think about. It's kind of sad because I think Kevin Holland has all the talent in the world. It's just unapplied.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And undevoted and focused. I think he was able to really truly focus on being the best Kevin Holland he could be. I think he has the ability to go on a title run if he was focused every fight from here until the end of his career.
Yeah.
He has all the skills. He is a very well-rounded fighter. He has grappling. He has striking. He has unorthodox striking that can come from any angle. He's able to bounce around weight classes and still be competitive. I think he's even going to be competitive in this fight. It will be a good fight to watch. He's just going to lose. It just is what it is. It's a sad career to watch. You know what I mean? Not that I want to take anything away from Kevin Holland. Like, it takes a lot to be able to fight as long as he's fought, and to be able to do it at a bunch of different weight classes. But he's just not going to win this one against Gunnar Nelson. So Gunnar Nelson for the win.
For sure.
And it will probably be a KO. If I had to.
KO?
KO.
You're tripping. I like it. Hey, that's a like a loaded take just right there. That was a very short sentence, but a lot in there. But nah, I mean, hey, that's gonna literally be like plus 1,000 some odds if he gets that done. So hey,
Maybe by ground and pound.
Possibly.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he hurt his rib in a fight. You know, that was considered a TKO. You know, and then he was on the ground getting grappled and fucking hurt his rib. So yeah, anything's possible. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we got a light heavyweight bout between Jan Blachowicz going up against Carlos Ulberg. We got Blachowicz coming in. They are 12-7 with one draw in the UFC, 29-10 with that one draw overall, and 2-2 with one draw in their last 5 fights. Ulberg's going to be 7-1 in the UFC, 11-1 overall, and are currently riding a 7-fight win streak. I'm going to be going with Blachowicz in this one by either submission or KO. They're going to be the older of the two by 8 years. The shorter fighter. They got a slight reach advantage. Definitely a powerful striker and well-rounded, but they're gonna want to keep this standing. I feel like most they might do is like get it up against the cage, and try and just do some work there on the feet. Still, I'm not sure they're gonna want to take it to the ground unless they are definitely older, and Ulberg isn't known for any type of grappling, so maybe that's like the path of least resistance or like an X factor that Blachowicz could take advantage of. Let's see here. He's gonna definitely, need to cut the cage off and make their standing exchanges messy. Ulberg's gonna be the crisper striker of the two, the more technical striker, whereas like I said, Blachowicz is just super powerful. The what does he call it? The legendary Polish power. So he just needs to make sure that he's not allowing Ulberg to dip in and hit him, touch him just to get points and then circle the cage. That's probably going to be his MO for this fight. He's going to be the faster, more athletic of the two. So Blachowicz doesn't want to find himself just following him the entire fight. Ulberg's going to be younger and taller, less rangy, point fighter with finishing capabilities. But outside of that, he doesn't have any real grappling. Maybe some takedown defense, but that's about it. But like I said, if he can keep this on the outside in that distance, come in, touch Blachowicz, go back out, circle the cage, get him to tire somewhat, and just keep that up over the course of 3 rounds, he'll definitely be able to take this one home. It won't even be hard for him. He'll barely break a sweat. But he's gonna definitely need to avoid being put up against the cage or being taken down by Blachowicz, because then it can become a long night for him. with all of that, circling and just point fighting, though, he is also going to need to manage his energy as well so that Blachowicz isn't able to catch up with him at some point, and maybe clip him. But I am going to go with Blachowicz, though. I think he just has the veteran, grit, especially in this division. And has fought some killers. He isn't just fighting, he's fighting the top of the division, whereas Oberg is on his way up. And this is kind of one of those proving stage bouts for him to see if he's ready for main events and or, potential title fights down the road.
Jan Blachowicz is a fucking dog, beast, monster, rough mother person to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just not. You're talking about an Ivan Drago from Poland.
He does. He does.
It's gonna be tough, and I don't think Carlos Ulberg in his fight career has ran into that yet. Jan Blachowicz has, has a gas tank, throws with crazy power, and I think once Carlos Ulberg feels that, he gets gun shy. And he stops throwing punches. And he starts, trying to get the hell out of the way. And when he starts getting the hell out of the way, Jan Blachowicz starts shooting takedowns. And then he's able to get Carlos Ulberg to the ground. And then he ground and pounds him to death. I don't think there'll be a sub. It'll just be a straight KO. It'll either be a KO while he's laying on the ground or it'll be a KO while he's standing.
I mean,
and Carlos,
my bad. Go ahead.
And Carlos Ulberg is going to have to eat that. It'll be a learning experience for him. That, that there's some dudes out here with, steroid strength without being on steroids. I mean, it's just one of those things. Jan Blachowicz is Ivan Drago from Poland.
Ivan Drago from Portland.
Yeah, from Poland.
Shit. Yeah, I mean, Oberg, the only thing he has going for him, I feel like when I think about it, is that he's a natural light heavyweight. When you think about it, he comes out of the same camp as Israel Adesanya. I feel like a lot of those guys mimic, Israel Adesanya's style and or are just a different variation of a kickboxing-based team.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what makes this fight much different, except for, like I said, he's actually of the weight, whereas Adesanya moved up and it was clear that he was the smaller, less stronger of the two fighters, and that's why Blachowicz was able to beat him. So I just don't see how, now that I even think about it, breaking this fight down, like how Ulberg is going to fare much different,
Ulberg's not better than Adesanya.
No.
So if Adesanya is the king of the camp,
he might be able to clear him now with the way that fucking Adesanya's been fighting lately.
Don't talk about Adesanya like that.
Hey, I'm just
Charles
saying.
Ulberg is not better than Adesanya. Like, what are we talking about?
Just saying.
Adesanya only fights on numbered cards.
Are you sure about that?
You know what I mean?
Not this last one. Who was on a fight night? It just was in Saudi Arabia. He was on one of these cards that Ulberg's on. I'm just saying, my G. It's the truth.
You're right, bro. But still,
the truth, my G.
Whatever. It was still.
I'd be passing the torch over there over at City Kickboxing pretty soon here.
Get the fuck out of here. Jan Blachowicz for the win, bro.
All right, folks. Moving on to
the main event of the evening.
We have a welterweight matchup. We got Leon Edwards going up against Sean Brady. We got Edwards coming in. They're going to be 14-3 with one no contest in the UFC, 22-4 with one no contest overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. We got Brady coming in. They're going to be 7-1 in the UFC, 17-1 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. My pick's going to be with Edwards in this one by KO or decision. They're going to be the slightly older of the two by a year, the bigger of the two fighters, a technical striker with, finishing capability, okay takedown defense. They showcased really good takedown defense against Kamaru Usman, and then showcased very bad takedown defense against Bilal Muhammad, who is now the current champion is, and who, you know, took the title from Leon Edwards. He needs to keep this one on the feet in that distance and just, you know, he's a very, very skilled striker. And I think that that's basically, you know, where he's managed to gain a lot of his success over time. So he needs to just keep it at distance, avoid the cage, and any grappling exchanges. He also just needs to be a little more mentally prepared this fight because I'm not going to take anything away from Bilal Muhammad. I feel like he definitely won that fight and, you know, was the better fighter on that night. But I also feel like Edwards was a little bit off that night. I don't think it was his best night. He was in front of his home country. I think the lights were shining brighter than typical for him. And I think it just got the best of him. I mean, even when he won against Usman the first time, you know, his coach was literally like, you need to pull something out of the fire. You're losing. He was losing 4 rounds. And or even in that 5th round, he was losing and then just got the flash KO. Ended up, you know, defending the title against a kind of washed Colby Covington at this point. He's pretty washed. So
Yeah,
I don't know how much stock you put into that victory. And then he ends up getting, you know, dominated in front of his home country by Bilal Muhammad. So I don't know. But I believe that if he's the dude that went on like a 13, 14 fight win streak, when leading up to winning the title, I feel like that Leon Edwards clears Sean Brady any day of the week. Sean Brady's going to be the younger and smaller of the two. Definitely a grappler with okay hands. I feel like he's trying to evolve in that realm, but definitely is a very, very skilled grappler, very dangerous grappler. Definitely needs to look to get the fight against the cage and then eventually to the ground. I think the earlier the better, especially when they're dry. As the fight goes on, I mean, unless his grappling is effective to the point where, you know, he's just kind of taking Edwards down at will, similar to Muhammad, and just controlling him the entire fight, then that's how that 5 rounds plays in his favor. But if this fight ends up, you know, having a good amount of it taking place on the feet, then it's not going to look good for him over those 5 rounds. He's just going to end up getting stuffed and, you know, pieced up. So yeah, if he's able to avoid long standing exchanges and is able to basically not take a lot of punishment and get this to the ground, he'll be good to go. But I think that Edwards is here to, you know, definitely redeem himself, keep himself in the title picture, possibly get that, I guess you can call it a trilogy bout with Muhammad, considering their first bout ended in a no contest. And then the second bout, you know, Muhammad got the best of him. So I guess, you know, I'm sure he wants to get that third fight if it's with him or just a title fight in general. So I'm going to be looking at Leon Edwards to come in here refocused and get this one done against Brady.
Leon Edwards is going to light Sean Brady up. This is just a comeback fight for the trilogy. Sean Brady is not on his level. Leon Edwards should only be on numbered cards. I mean, cool, he's on the main event of a London card. That's cool. He is from London and all those great things. But this is, you know what I mean, he's not going to be on one of these, his next fight. His next fight, he'll be on a number card. He'll be either going for a title or he'll be whipping another ass, you know what I mean, that happens to be in his weight class. He is well-rounded in all facets, whether it's grappling, striking, cardio, fight IQ. He is the one. He is the guy. He just ran into a killer in his last fight, and that happens. Do I know if he can be champion again? That's just to be determined. We'll really see what he brings to this fight to kind of be able to gauge what he'll do in that next fight when he does get that chance. Because I think if he wins this fight, he gets that chance real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another fight.
Yeah.
And it'll be something where I think he'll pick to have another fight before he does it versus the UFC saying that you need another fight before you go and handle the fight again or handle the championship again.
No, I think
So
I think UFC would tell that fool, yeah, nah, bro.
he's number 2.
Got other plans.
He's number 2, bro.
Doesn't matter. He's only fighting number 7. I don't mean shit. He's fighting to keep his spot, and then now he has to fight another fight to get up into title contention.
I don't think so.
That's my opinion.
I'll tell you why it's not my opinion. Because if he knocks Sean Brady smooth out in the first round, you're telling me he doesn't get the title right away? He doesn't get a shot at the title?
Yeah, he could. I could see that.
Now, maybe if it goes to decision and Leon Edwards squeaks one by in a 5-round decision, then yeah. Sorry, bro, you're probably not going to get a title right away. You're probably just going to fight somebody else within the top 5.
Yeah.
But if he starches this dude, how do you not give him a title shot?
Because you got other cats who are waiting in the wings.
Well, at the end of the day, you starch somebody in the top 10. And it was convincing. I think there's a possibility he can do that. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm saying there's a possibility.
I mean, if he fucking starches him and then gets on the mic and calls, Bilal Muhammad a hoe, and fucking, really goes in on him on the mic to make it, a juicy storyline, I think they could do that.
Well, there's always that too, right?
So
there's always that possibility.
All right.
Again, Leon Edwards for the win. I hope he starches Sean Brady because I hope he gets his chance again at the title.
Nice. Well, that concludes the predictions picks portion of this show. You got any parlays?
Of course, the parlay god has parlays.
You're the parlay god? Because I'm pretty sure I'm the dude that hit a 6-pick fucking parlay, spicy and all, fucking last week. But yeah, okay, whatever you say, my guy. You the parlay god. You right. Go ahead.
Okay? Parlayed fucking demigod. You wanna be fucking Maui out here? You wanna fucking give your little parlay out since you won one?
Well, interesting.
Maui.
Interesting enough.
Little fucking
not
fake,
to say
fat Samoan. What do you want to do?
Not to say that I'm trying to
Rock's
go
boys?
out on top or anything like that, but to be totally honest, I just these fights I made clear picks on them, but to be totally honest, in terms of a parlay, I wouldn't feel right, especially to all these new viewers and subscribers that we got due to my epic picking this last card, both in underdogs and just overall just picking the entire card and parlays. I don't want to just start throwing things out there just for the sake of having a parlay available. So I'm actually going to sit this week out, y'all. We're going to, enjoy that 6-picker from last week.
If you're going to sit down, shut the fuck up. How about that?
Shut the fuck up.
Good. Cool. Because the parlay god is here and he has fucking parlays. What are we doing? All right. First stage of the parlay is going to be Charrier. Second stage of the parlay. Well, actually, let's go the other direction. First stage of the parlay is going to be Bannon. Second stage of the parlay is going to be Chris Padilla. Third stage of the parlay is going to be Charrier.
Done.
And then if you want the spicy 4, it's Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards for the spicy 4.
So definitely just do a 2-pick.
Oh, come on!
Shauna, Bannon, Leon Edwards. Because those other 2 picks he just put in there were fucking trash. But go ahead.
You guys are listening to somebody who's afraid to put a parlay in.
This nigga's scared.
What the fuck is that?
Pussy.
Huh?
I'm not afraid.
It's
just not logical.
Like.
Yeah, I'm about the viewers, bro. I'm not gonna
parlay nut.
I'm not gonna compromise the integrity of our show. Just trying to. I mean, that's what you do. That's not what I do. You like to just go willy-nilly with the show. This isn't. It's obvious you're not quite as invested as I am. So you're willing to just kind of just throw caution to the wind and just, for the sake of just having something to say because you like to hear the sound of your own fucking voice. You want to just start throwing parlays out there, not really confident in who it is that you're picking when you're stringing those fucking unsuccessful parlays together. So, I haven't seen any comments giving you congratulations for your successful
For this
parlays.
last fight, took
I'm
your
just asking.
fucking
I'm just saying.
bullshit
I'm
in.
just
Come
saying.
on, man, bro, get out of here.
But yeah, so you know that's all it is. I just I'm not out here trying to compromise the integrity of myself, my parlays, or the show.
Okay,
So,
bro. Go
that's
ahead.
where we're at
You know what I
with
mean?
that.
You got some things to say about last week?
Oh, we ready? Oh, buddy. Let's go. So first off, folks, you were looking at the best picker of all 13 fights that there were last weekend. I was the best according to the UFC Predictions Tracker out of like 70 to 100 channels, I believe.
Nice.
There you go. And then also, as a result, I was definitely the most profitable out of everybody. So you apply any hypothetical unit number to my picks over the entire card, you were coming back with like a plus 60% fucking ROI. So there's
it was
that.
like 70 plus.
Okay.
It was like, so I think if I remember it correctly, it was 13 fights or 12 fights. 13 fights. If you bet with Cameron or Utica,
Yeah, don't use my fucking government name
shut
like
up,
that,
man.
fool.
Anyway,
What's wrong with you?
Bitch.
if you'd have bet with this dude, you know what I mean? If you'd have put $100 on every fight he picked, you'd have came home plus like $800 or something.
Oh, for
like
sure.
that. Yeah,
Definitely.
It was
a ridiculous fucking number for sure.
It was a good it was a good amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If Marvin Tory wasn't such a hoe, I would have fucking really cleared the field, but it's all good.
Get out of here, bro. Just because you won some weirdos doesn't mean that like I'm not one of the best ever to ever done the best to ever do it, to be honest with you, because I'm still way up.
Wasn't a fucking 10-fight fucking Los Angeles Lakers fucking 2020 NBA championship fucking
Lakers?
card.
You're bringing up the Lakers and you
Because
get out of here, bro.
bubble card. No one takes
Whatever,
that fucking
bro.
championship
Tired of
seriously.
that.
Same way I don't take those 2 fight cards that you won seriously. All right? So there's that. On top of, let's see here. So yeah, most profitable. Most handsome. I mean, it's by a large fucking margin. Got me and my bro featured. Shouts out to the UFC Predictions Tracker. If you don't know, make sure to go check them out. I'll put a little card right there to let y'all know to go check them out. They take everybody in the predictions and picks sector of YouTube, in specific to MMA and UFC cards. Make sure that, they see who's the best at picking, who comes home with the most money. Like bro said, when you put that hypothetical unit amount to those bets. You know what? Yeah. Called the Carlos Vera fight, who was the biggest underdog on the card. So there's that as well. So I mean, bruh, like it was a very successful weekend. All thanks to me. This channel just wouldn't quite be what it is without myself.
Bullshit.
So all thanks to me. Very proud of myself. And hopefully you took some notes. Start to negate your hate for me and start to up the admiration and just kind of follow my lead going forward. I'm gonna take the 2025 title by the end of this card. And then I'm, like I said, going to be that much closer.
But I still have the title.
To the all-time title.
I still have the title.
For right now.
2 titles. All-time and 2025.
You don't fucking got 2025.
I do have 2025.
No, you don't.
You got to beat the champ to beat a champ.
Well, I did. I beat you.
All right. First of all, don't fucking talk to me in pajama fucking shirts.
Damn,
okay?
son.
Also, don't fucking talk to me with your fucking hair looking wild as fuck. Looking like fucking Chris Padilla out here.
Whoa, buddy, relax.
Kind of shaped up into a weird fucking cone of some sort from fucking Hey Arnold. Like, I don't want to fucking hear any more bullshit from you about like how great you are because you haven't taken the title yet. I still got it.
That's what I mean. Like I said, that's kind of just like one of those things where you're acting like you're still a champion because you don't want to let it go. It's kind of some weird, you're getting a little like hysterical with it. I feel like this is really, really bothering you.
What the fuck? This is not bothering me.
You sure? You sure it's not bothering
still
you?
the
Because
fucking champ.
you seem highly fucking irritated right now.
Are you okay? You don't look so good.
I'm humble. I'm humble right now.
You know, yeah, you damn right you're humble. Big old slice of humble pie. Big old slice. Big ass slice of humble pie.
I mean, I'm not that fucking humble. Like, I've still won the majority of the fights that we've ever called.
That's what's up. I give you
Right?
that.
Okay?
Yeah.
We're still tied in 2025. Right? And I won last. So that means I'm still the winner. I'm still the champ. I still hold the belt. I'm still the final boss.
Hail to the king.
Mhm.
This is God trying. You know what I mean?
Well, I have yet to actually put those numbers together because there's a strong possibility I am up one fight. But I'll let this graphic I'm about to put up here ultimately determine that. It's going to let you know the results from last card, which, I mean, it's not really hard to tell how it went, regardless of what the numbers were.
How many did you win last week?
It's also going to show you our record in picking for this year alone. And then also you're going to see our all-time record, which is really the only title this nigga has right now, which is whatever. So really a lot of 2024 wins because we're not even close to the halfway marker of fights that we were had all of 2024, which was like 500 some fucking fights. We're definitely not at like 250 fights quite
So
yet,
you're telling
my
me
G.
you need a whole year to beat me?
Well, yeah, to catch up to a whole year of you winning. Yeah, I would need a whole year of fights to win, my
You
G.
were also picking
But I'm gonna
the whole
beat
year.
your ass. It doesn't. The thing is I need a whole year to potentially get it done. But to be totally honest, this little 18 fights or whatever that I gotta actually, get past you on is really not gonna take long at all, especially at the pace we're going right now. So it's all good. Anyways, folks.
You've been tied. Like, bro, we're like 2.5 months in. And all you did was manage to tie me at the beginning of the year? Oh, you think you're going to do something with that?
3 months in, I was managed to tie you. It took you a
No,
whole year to get as far as you
2.5.
are ahead of me.
We're not even all the way through this month.
Thank you. Sounds even better. Thank you. 2.5 months, I've already started gaining ground back on you.
You didn't tie me all the time. You tied me for this year.
It's all right.
Because I was already whipping your ass at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Whipping your ass.
That's what I'm saying. But it didn't take me long to get right back, at you. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's all good. Anyway, folks.
Give a fuck about it. Come on. This is bullshit.
So you'll see all of that information if you haven't already. I just want to, take this time out to thank everybody who subscribed over this past weekend. Super dope that, I'm assuming all of y'all checked out the results from the UFC Predictions Tracker, came and checked us out, and or our channel just popped up in your algorithm and you gave us a view. So hopefully we made you a believer. Hopefully you're able to cash in, and we look forward to, providing you more top quality, picks and predictions and content, here to come. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. You can follow us on IG and TikTok at Bros Talk MMA. You can follow me at UTICA_SME. Unless you're a beautiful, woman or IG model or OnlyFans, Pornhub type, personality.
You can follow me at R1.Mason. IG. You know what it is.
Outside of that, let's see here. We pretty much covered everything. So, yeah, thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate y'all. You got anything?
Win with winners, suck with suckers.
Wait, what?
I don't.
Win with winners, suck with suckers.
What do you mean by that?
You said so. Wait, okay. I'm pretty sure with your hand you went win with winners.
Nigga, I won the
Win
last
winners, and then
fight,
you, and then
too.
you went suck with suckers, but you meant suck with suckers to you.
I won the card, bro. Like, I just didn't win it as well as you won it. Like, okay, you were number 1. Good fucking job. You want the fucking thumbs up? There you go. Okay, I was number 12 in 100 fucking people. 100, no, not even 100 people. 100 channels. It was 12. Okay? So, yes, you won it. Good job, bro. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, win with winners. Suck with suckers. Like, come on, man. What the hell?
All right. I'm
Fucking
sorry.
being a weirdo.
Sorry,
I'm
mate.
sorry. My bad.
Me?
My bad. I apologize. I'm letting the success get to my head.
Just get to your head, bro.
I'm already starting to change. My bad.
Because the shit's gonna be over next card, bro. That's what's gonna happen. And then you gotta do the same shit that you've been doing on a lot of these other cards. Where you're like, my bro's, you know what I mean? And he was able to make it happen. You sound like Charles Barkley when you be talking like, like, that's what's gonna happen again. You think it's not gonna happen again?
You almost ended this one just right, and then you had to
No,
provide a bunch
to.
of unnecessary
had to.
fucking banter at the end. So this has been another episode of Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, UTICA, undeniably the illest cat around, a.k.a. Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick, a.k.a. the fucking legend, the parlay fucking universe star. Like literally, I snapped my fingers and that's when fucking this whole betting shit even fucking started, bruh.
Parlay Thanos?
No. I'm talking like the opposite effect. There's just shit. Everything's created at that point.
Shut up!
I'm here with my bro, host extraordinaire.
You know what it is. It's RayBuck, it's Chocolate Jordan. It is Ray Mysterio Jr. It is Black Jesus, Black Moses, Black Nostradamus, because I'm making picks real fucking dope with it. I'm the greatest picker around here. I am the parlay god. I am Mr. Give Me My Belt. Hand me my crown and throw my other belt over the shoulder because not only am I the all-time belt holder, I'm also the belt holder for 2025.
Congratulations!
Placeholder.
I'm a 2 fucking spot fucking belt holder. You know what it is.
Placeholder. And
Placeholder my ass.
But
Placeholder
anyways,
my ass. You gotta win the belt to get the belt, boy.
and I did, but
You
whatever,
didn't.
bro.
No, how'd
I'm
you
not
do it?
gonna.
How'd you do it?
I won more fights than you.
And
literally
one card.
head to head. Like
card.
in the ones that you and me went against each other on, I beat you. Like I said, there's actually a possibility I might have my numbers wrong, and I am ahead. And this is all just one big delusion for you right now. But we'll find that out on the next card, which I'm sure you'll be back in a fucking fur coat or something wild. You know, it's your fucking brows all scrunched up underneath your fucking aviator grandpa glasses.
Roasted.
Until the next time, folks, we wish y'all nothing but the best. Happy betting. And until then, we out.